only way to get what you want is to become a human yourself.
Can you do that?
My dear, sweet child, that's what I do. It's what I live for, to help unfortunate merfolk like yourself. Poor souls with no one else to turn to. I admit that in the past I've been a nasty. They weren't kidding when they called me, well, a witch. But you'll find that nowadays I've mended all my ways, repented, seen the light, and made a switch. 2 years. And I fortunately know a little magic. It's a talent that I always have possessed. And here lately, please don't laugh, I use it on behalf of the miserable, lonely, and depressed. Pathetic. Poor unfortunate souls in pain, in need. This one longing to be thinner, that one wants to get the girl, and do I help them? Yes, indeed. Those poor unfortunate souls, so sad, so true. They come flocking to my cauldron crying, spells, Ursula, please, and I help them. Yes, I do. Now it's happened once or twice. Someone couldn't pay the price, and I'm afraid I had to rake 'em across the coals. Yes, I've had the odd complaint, but on the whole, I've been a saint. To those poor unfortunate souls.
But without my voice, how can I...
You'll have your looks, your pretty face. And don't underestimate the importance of body language. Ha! The men up there don't like a lot of blabber. They think a girl who gossips is a bore. Yes, on land it's much preferred for ladies not to say a word. And after all, dear, what is I?
Hello, good afternoon. How the devil are you? I am moderately better than I was yesterday. I certainly sound it. Early nights. That's what I recommend. Early nights. Anyway, I'm going to be quick because I really don't want to ruin my voice. I've got a very busy weekend. We have Worthing on Saturday. Do come. And we have London on Sunday. Do come. Look, we're getting to the point that if you don't show up, what's the point? Like, you can... if all you can do is tweet, then that's amazing. That's brilliant. If you're doing everything you can. If you can get to London or Worthing this weekend, then you should. It's very simple. Very, very simple. Look, I called this Some Cultures Are Backward Cesspits That Civilization Forgot, and I want to qualify that particular statement. I also want to talk about the trans school shooter. And by trans, I mean that bloke. Very scary. And I think there's more of this to come. And it's something I've been talking about for quite some time now, that what are these men going to do? Because that testosterone doesn't disappear, does it? So let's have a look, first of all, at what prompted me talking about culture again today. It's quite an old clip. I think Ross Kemp, he's worth watching. His face in this is insane. So let's have a look. Make sure you can hear it. Because that's kind of... There we go. Okay. So this is Ross Kemp. And these are two men and what they think about rape.
Some of them, they're not screaming. It's like they wanted to be raped, you see. She also grabs you see, no more
like
crying.
She's like, enjoying it, you know, see? Even though she isn't, but it's like she's enjoying it.
I'm going to guess the collective IQ of the two men that he's talking to is about 13.
Do you think it's right? Do you think it's right to rape?
Yeah, it's wrong. Yeah, it's wrong.
What about the consequences of what you're doing in terms of how that affects the person that's raped?
Yeah, the consequences, we look at that all the time, you know, because it happens, she might scream, you know, people might wake up.
It's so not funny. It's so not funny, but his reactions are funny because he's a man that's grown up in the United Kingdom, where, like, even if you're a terrible person and you don't listen to no's, you know that rape is wrong. There isn't a man, a civilized man living in this country that doesn't think that rape is wrong, even if he's a duplicitous liar and actually enjoys it. He would know not to say so in public. So this is the culture, people. It's not about race. It's not about race. It's not about where they are, in the what continent they're born in. It's not the color of their skin. It is culture. Like a man born in this country with the same genetic makeup as those men, so racially the same, is not the same. It's culture. It's culture. I want to make that really, really clear. When we talk about this, we are talking about culture. When we are talking about men, predominantly from Muslim countries, we are talking about their culture being backward and uncivilized. We're talking about a certain sect often of uncivilized, uncultured, uneducated, cousin marriage. That's what we're talking about. In a culture where, like London Pakistanis, I think 70% of them, their cousins, their parents are cousins. Like that is a culture that has an impact on their IQ, their rational brain, their level of aggression. So that's what we're talking about when we talk about culture. There obviously will be much higher educated people from Pakistan who don't have a culture of cousin marriage and low IQ and high aggression. There will be plenty of those people. But this particular culture is both borderline, probably can't read and write, stupid, and also incredibly women hating, to the point that they haven't even considered a woman in this particular scenario where they're raping her. They understand that rape means she hasn't consented. I'm pretty sure they understand that rape is something that you do. And he's saying, she might enjoy it, but she isn't enjoying it.
Yeah, the consequences, we look at that all the time, because it happens. She might scream, people might wake up. A lot of people, especially.
I'm not just talking about, I'm talking about.
So if you're gonna rape someone, be careful, because she might scream and wake other people up. So that would be something you might have to consider before you violently put your penis inside of her. You might have to think, will she wake anyone up with the screams?
The emotional effect, the physical effect it has on the girl.
Yeah. Sometimes we know that we might rape her and wake up tomorrow with viruses ourselves, like HIV,
What about Gretchen, what you've done to the girl?
So sorry, there's 3 people there. I didn't see the guy sat down.
I also do regret about it, because if she fell pregnant, what will be that baby's father? Who will be that baby's father?
But what about her personal feelings?
Don't tell me that cultures are equal. Don't tell me that you want these men living in this country. And look, we do have borders, and it's terrible that there will be women that they impact where they live. It's terrible, terrible, terrible. Isn't it awful? But we still don't want to import those men here. I don't want to share that particular problem. Thank you very much. I don't want my daughter to have to share that particular problem. If that makes me a terrible person, I really don't care. Just listen to that in full so you can hear it again, because it is unbelievable. And I think we're all Ross Kemp here, that it's just, what about the woman? Well, yes, she might have viruses. Yeah, what about how she feels? Yes, well, she might wake other people up. She might get pregnant. And they think when they're talking to this, they have no idea, right? Which is like a load of these men that you see in pedophile hunter that come from a different country. When they get caught here, when men that have grown up here get caught, and clearly there are thousands of those men that are predatory pedophiles that rape their own children, right? We know that exists in this country. We know that exists everywhere. Everywhere there's a penis, there is, a collection of penises en masse. There's rape and incest and terrible things happen, right? It's a very small minority, but it's a very serious number of men and victims. And when they get caught, often those people, they often look very frightened because they've been caught and they know what they've been doing is wrong. And they start either crying or saying sorry, but they look really, really afraid. When these men get caught, often we've heard stories, and I've seen too many myself to think that I shouldn't say this. They say they didn't know it was wrong. These men here have no idea, when they're talking to Ross Kemp, They have no idea that what they're saying is fucking outrageous, disgusting, despicable, grotesque. They have no idea that he's looking at them like, you are disgusting monsters. Yeah, they have no idea that his facial expressions are saying, you're wrong.
Guys, let's go.
Some of them, they're not screaming. It's like they wanted to be raped, you see. She also grabs you, you see, no
It's
more
like
crying.
she's
like,
enjoying it, you know,
see.
even though she isn't, but it's like she's enjoying.
Do you think it's right? Do you think it's right to rape?
Yeah, it's wrong. Yeah, it's wrong.
What about the consequences of what you're doing in terms of how that affects the
Exactly.
person that's raped?
Yeah, the consequences, we look at that all the time, you know, because it happens, she might scream, you know, people might wake up. A lot of people,
might
especially.
I'm not just talking about, I'm talking about the emotional effect, the physical effect it has on the
Yeah,
girl.
yeah. Sometimes we know that we might rape her and wake up tomorrow with viruses ourselves, like HIV, you know.
What about regretting what you've done to the girl?
I also do regret about it, because if she fell pregnant, what will be that baby's father? Who will be that baby's father?
But what
You see?
about her personal feelings?
So these are some of the men, these are some of the cultures that we are welcoming into this country. And do you know what? If they get returned to their country and they get killed, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Genuinely couldn't give a shit what happens to them. Or any of them, actually. Any of the men that have come from terrible countries. It's an awful thing to say, but if you've left Afghanistan and you've left your wife or your sisters or your daughters or your mother behind, then I think you should just return. Don't actually care what happens to you at all. Terrible, isn't it? Terrible. What a terrible person I am. So I just care about the little girls and women in this country and men and boys. But that's all I care about. So sue me. The first video you were looking at when, at the start of this video is a mermaid. It's Jazz Jennings. It is the freak show of the American trans nonsense. And I thought I'd just play a little bit of him, and I thought it was apt to put Little Mermaid along with it. And now we have another man who claims to be a woman who's just shot, I think he's shot 19 people. 2 children have died. I think it was mostly children. He chose a Catholic church. If he'd shot up a mosque, you know what we'd be saying right now? We'd be saying that it was an Islamophobic attack. They don't seem to be saying that. It's an anti-Christian attack. But, you know, that's where we are. We are in that sort of time in the world where people don't only get accused of things if it fits the narrative, but he did an anti-Christian attack, and he's had a manifesto that many people have got all over Twitter. I'm not going to share it with you, but you know what you've seen, and some of it is him regretting his transition, how he can't really go back, how, you know, and we know that estrogen is really bad, makes the mix of testosterone and then estrogen is pretty bad for anyone. So that sort of aggression and emotion combined is shit. Makes these people mad. And I don't know when this man started taking cross-sex hormones. I don't know whether or not he had all actions. I have no idea about that. But I just want to warn you again. What do you think is going to happen to this generation of boys and men? Because the testosterone will keep coming. So we are setting ourselves up for these insane, angry men who eventually work out that everybody was against them. Their teachers, the government, the state, the court system, their doctors, their therapists, their teachers, their everyone who was supposed to look after them just totally chose not to. And we are going to be in a horrific situation when those men all realize that the thing that most men are controlled by, which is their genitals, and I don't mean that in a nasty way, I just mean they're mammals. We know that that's what men are controlled by over a really significant part of their adult life. You know, it's a biological necessity, but it's also very, very powerful. And I think women don't understand it. What you do when you neuter men, when you take that element away from them, I mean, Jesus, I just can't imagine the profound anger that those boys and men are going to feel. Like never, ever, ever being able to scratch that particular itch. How despicable. How despicable. And then finally, we can have a look at the EHRC, and they have come up with something where, look, I'm not going to say it's because of me, but it feels like the sort of thing that I was asking. They are going to... Oh, that's the wrong page. That's good, isn't it? So they've come out and they have said that they are going to... they've done a press release and I've totally screwed it up. Anyway, they've come out and they've said that they are going to write to lots of bodies and institutions, be it universities, police, etc., and ask them to actually follow the law. And clearly, when a state regulator is asking another state-regulated authority or business or service or institution to follow the law, that's very different than anyone else doing it. So the police force is not going to go against the EHRC when the EHRC makes demands. That's just not going to happen. The universities and the universities maybe, but hospitals and so on, they're not going to change. They're not going to defy the Equality and Human Rights Commission. I can't see that happening. And it is about time, and I'm really pleased to see it. So that's the sort of thing we want now. We want teeth. We want... I wrote that letter to the EHRC quite some time ago. I'm sure they had their own ideas before that. But I basically wrote a letter on behalf of Let Women Speak asking them if they could actually implement the law like they're supposed to. And now they're doing it. So no complaints from me. Let's just remind ourselves as well that it's not only men that suffer with transition and turn into narcissists, sociopaths. It's also the girls.
Someone to care, someone to share, lonely hours and the moments of despair, to be loved, to be loved. Oh, what a feeling to be loved. Someone to kiss, someone to miss, when you're away, to hear from me today, to be loved, to be loved. Oh, what a feeling to be loved. Some wish to be a king or a queen. Some wish for fortune and fame. But to be truly, truly, truly loved is more than all of these things. Oh, someone to kiss, someone to miss, when you're away, to hear from me today, to be loved, to be loved. Oh, what a feeling to be loved, to be loved, to be loved. Oh, what a feeling
cut myself off there. Sorry about that. Okay, let me just make sure you can read it. Mhm. Okay. I spoke with the mum of one of the girls, Maya, and got the entire story that the media is covering up and lying about. So first of all, the reporting got the names of the girls mixed up. There were 3 girls who were there, who were accosted and attacked by the migrants. Lola is the hero from the video. She's the one with the axe defending her sister from the migrant attackers. Ruby, Lola's older sister, who was attacked and hospitalized. Maya, Ruby's best friend, who was with them and went to call the police after Ruby was attacked by the migrants. Here's a summary of what happened from Maya's mother. So, yes, what happened was the girls were out there just walking, and a man in a picture made comments to Lola, the younger girl, calling her sexy and other sexual remarks. Then the girls started to tell this man to leave them alone and stop following them and making sexual remarks to them. And then after that, the man's sister, also in the picture, came round the corner and physically attacked Ruby, the older sister. She grabbed her hair and dragged her to the floor and started to punch her. Then both the man and the woman were kicking her in the head while she was on the floor. At this point, my daughter, Maya, called the police, so that my daughter's account after that is all a bit blurry. But that's when Lola had the weapons. She pulled them out to protect Ruby. After that, when the man came back at Lola, recording her making sure she showed the weapons to the camera and antagonizing her. Ruby was hospitalized after the attack with severe concussion and a tennis ball lump to the back of the head, as well as lots of bruises. Right? And then there's a Give Send Go, and apparently the reason they had those weapons, although they're quite significant weapons, but the reason they had those weapons was because they've been attacked by migrants before. Now, I know that the narrative is racist versus vulnerable migrant. We know that's going to be the narrative. We know. And how do we know? Because it's been the narrative for 60 years. Young working class girl versus pervy migrant. Who wins every time? The pervy migrant. Like, what is it about these girls that anyone would assume the worst? Like, seriously. Do you think if that girl said, oh, leave my sister alone? Do leave my sister alone. Fuck off. Do you honestly think that you'd be going, well, I think it might be the girl. I think it might be the girl. Ah, I knew it. Oh, I thought so. Yeah, I thought it would be. I thought it would be the case, that it would be that rough girl started something. Wouldn't be a man from a culture where they do say fucking gross things to young girls, would it? No. I even think, actually, if that man had an English or Scottish accent, that the girl would be, that people would be more ready to be on her side. There is something deeply wrong with this country when it comes to race and what we're prepared to sacrifice our girls for. And if you're calling yourself some sort of feminist and you find yourself on the side of the man, goading and filming young teenage girls, then you're an arsehole. In fact, you're beyond an arsehole. You're so beyond it. There's words that I won't use on this channel that I think of you when I think about that. So let me just say that again. If you're a feminist, if you call yourself a feminist, you write stories, feminist stories, articles, opinion pieces, if you do little feminist tweets, if you try and tell everyone that everything you do is through the lens of feminism, and then your first response to a vulnerable girl, or let's say she's not, to a 12 and 14-year-old girls, right, that you see on camera, carrying a weapon, telling a man to stay back, leave them alone, and the man is taunting them, right? Man is taunting them, and he's filming them, and your response isn't, yes, when you read that the girls are the problem, apparently. Oh, yes, of course they are. Then you're piece of shit. Simply. A lying, dishonest piece of shit. And you really should have your feminist badge revoked. I, on the other hand, I'm willing to believe, because I've been a girl who's received attention. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe some of these women haven't received attention, but I don't think that's the case. But if you know men, like if that man was like, oh, fucking show us your weapons, like, or show us your weapon, girls, show us your fucking weapons, girls, or hey, girls, show us your weapon. Like if it was any other accent, but a migrant accent, an immigrant accent, you'd all say a different thing, and that's because you're dishonest bastards, all of you. So anyway, that's me. I promised I wouldn't stay on too long, and I've stayed on for far too long. Look, if you are finding yourself in a position where you are on the side of grown men against women, against little girls, then you're wrong. If you can speak up on behalf of those little girls, I promise we will win. If you can just make sure that when you think about what is my position in this, what am I supposed to say? What is the truth? What feels like the most truthful thing? And like I said, when I saw that little snippet yesterday, I did think I was totally on the side of the girls. My instinct was on the side of the girls, but I thought I better cover my arse a little bit because I didn't actually know, and I didn't know that they hadn't beaten up like a group of 2-year-olds at the bloody park. But if your response in finding out that the girls are somehow at fault, if you kind of feel a bit of an I told you so moment, then you're an asshole. And if you want to stand up against those women, then I promise we will win. If you can have the courage of your convictions, then I promise we will win. And do you know why else we're going to win? Well, because I never lose.